Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Pattsun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP was fooled into raising another man's baby. Let's begin. My cousin's jealousy blew up in her face. Posted by Reddit user Jaded Foundation.
Throwaway, spare account. I like the inbox on my main to be nice and peaceful. My cousin, Mary, grew to be an extremely jealous person in her teens. We've all hoped she would grow out of it, but she hasn't. She refuses to address it. When I proposed to my husband, Sean, a couple years ago, Mary threw a fit. She wanted to be the first to get married between the two of us. She deserved it. She didn't even have a boyfriend. Because Sean and I chose to have a small personal wedding, we were able to use money set aside for us to buy a home and pay off half the mortgage. Cue another tantrum from Mary, despite the fact that there is money set aside for her too, including from our grandparents and Aunt Miranda who chose not to have children. I think you can get the picture here. If I have something Mary doesn't, she wants it. If I accomplish something before her, it's not fair. It doesn't matter if she's younger than me by 6 years and I would naturally reach some goals before her. There's just no logic in her tantrums. This brings us to Miranda's annual New Year's party. There's always food, drinks, and games. It's a fun night where we can get wasted safely with family and friends if we want to, especially since there are no kids in the family at the moment. When I was returning from the bathroom, I saw Sean looking extremely uncomfortable and trying to fend off Mary, who was sitting much too close to him on the couch. I managed to overhear her telling him that women are much better than men and insisting he try with her because he didn't know what he was missing. Now, Sean is 100% gay, so this was just pathetic for her, but I was seeing red over the fact that she was attempting to ruin our marriage to satisfy her jealousy. I said, if women are so great, then date a woman instead of trying to get my gay husband to sleep with you. The entire room heard this. I didn't control my volume. Party ruined. The family has spared us from most of the chaos that followed, but today we found out that the money that was set aside for her is no longer for her. The tuition to pay for the remaining classes for her bachelor's degree has been refunded to our grandparents since spring classes haven't started yet. All the money from her parents is going to her younger brother, and all the money from our grandparents and Miranda is going to be distributed between him and myself. She's getting nothing. She's also been given 3 months to find a new place to live because her parents don't want her living under their roof. She was given a massive leg up just like I was, and she screwed herself out of it. I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. Okay, I don't.
OP, when you said that they spared you guys from most of the drama that followed, I assume that means that you left the party. Oh, how I wonder what other shit she tried to pull, or the other things that she said after that caused the disinheritance and possible disowning. Oh, to be a fly on that wall. I would pay real money to see what happened that night. And now for today's second story. I found out that my son isn't biologically mine. My wife is trying to use our son to stop me from divorcing her. How should I proceed? Posted by a throwaway Reddit account.
I'll get straight to the point. I discovered that my wife, Kat, who I married 2 years ago but have been in a relationship with for 7 years, cheated on me, and that our son Lee is not biologically mine. I was given the revelation by my mother-in-law. I would otherwise never have known because my wife and I are an interracial couple and our child is biracial. Just turns out the affair partner and bio father is also the same race as me. According to her, my wife confessed to her mother a year ago out of guilt. Mother-in-law wanted my wife to tell me directly, but I guess after failing to do so for a year, she took the initiative to tell me herself. I took a DNA test and have confirmed that my son is in fact not mine. I have confronted Kat, who confessed to everything. Affair partner was a regular customer from her retail job. She claims it was a once-off from a moment of weakness and that she never loved the affair partner and that she ended things years ago. I looked up the affair partner, who has a public Facebook profile, and my son's physical resemblance to him is extremely apparent. Mother-in-law has pleaded with me to stay and try to make things work. I've considered and I just don't think I have it in me to stay in the relationship. Last week I consulted a lawyer to initiate divorce. Where I live it is no-fault divorce, so Kat's infidelity is pretty irrelevant, but I do have a prenup for all my premarital assets. I inherited quite a lot from my grandfather, who passed away when I was 21, so it's mostly just the marriage assets that will be divided. I have also instructed my lawyer to attempt the process of removing my name from my son's birth certificate. Now, I am not a monster. I love my son, but looking at him I now can't get affair partner's face out of mind each time I do. I will seek counseling, but there's a good chance this isn't something I can ever get over. I will not completely abandon him though. I currently plan to set up a trust account for him with a third-party administrator so I don't have to be personally involved. In my opinion, he's too young to understand, so I've simply told him that his mother and I have fallen out of love, which is partly true because the revelation has killed my love and affection for Kat. That said, I have written a letter which I have given to my mother-in-law to give to him when he's older, which will explain my side of the story. I have always had a good relationship with my mother-in-law and trust her judgment on when that time will be appropriate. Kat unfortunately is making this process difficult by telling him that she's still in love with me and wants me to stay, so I likely just look like a dad who is just leaving for no reason. So this is my dilemma. My wife is accusing me of abandoning my son because I refuse to forgive her and stay to try to make the marriage work for his sake. She is unwilling to tell the affair partner about his bio son because in her mind, affair partner is not the real father and she does not want affair partner involved in her son's life. My wife has said she's not in love with the affair partner and is calling me immature for not wanting to take an active role in his upbringing anymore. What should I do in regards to my wife Kat and my non-biological son Lee?
OP, if I were you, I would continue what you're doing right now, but with one simple change. I wouldn't trust that letter to your mother-in-law. You never know what could happen. Maybe she could have a change of heart. Maybe she could pass away. Maybe that your soon-to-be ex-wife will find it. My advice to you, my friend, is to give other copies of the letter to a few other people that you trust, including your lawyer, with instructions to give it to your son when he's older. Plus, I would also tell the affair partner, because that is his biological son, and he deserves the choice if he wants to be a father, whether she wants him in the picture or not. Good luck, OP. Do not take her back. Continue with your divorce. And now for today's final story. I made out with the sister of my ex-fiance, and I'm not sure if I regret it. How should I face this messy situation? Posted by Reddit user ThrowRAZorg.
Throwaway for obvious reasons. In advance, sorry for the grammar mistakes. It is not my native language. A few years ago, I met Clara at the tennis club of the university, and we got along well and we started a relationship. After 1 year and a half, we moved in together, and after 3 years and a half, I proposed her and we got engaged. We were very happy together. Our families got along well. I loved her, and I thought she was the one, and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. I am very into tennis. My little sister and I have been playing since we were kids. Clara and her little sister Zoe liked tennis too, and we used to play doubles together. Zoe and my little sister grew closer and became basically best friends. Clara got gradually bored of tennis and stopped, so she played less. I still played with Zoe and my sis. I always had friends ready to tag along. Unfortunately, last year in March, few months after our engagement, Clara brutally broke up with me. She told me she wasn't sure that she was really loving me, that she knew that I love her with my life, but I was more a safe choice. She didn't feel the burning passion she was expecting. She said she is probably not ready for marriage and wanted to enjoy different experiences before settling. Obviously, I was devastated. I wasn't expecting that. I was naively sure that we would marry and live happily. For several days, I tried to save our relationship, but she rejected me and told me it's over. Then I finally grew a spine and tried to move on. I moved with my sister. I was in a very dark place, but step by step I started to heal. Due to her friendship with my sister, Zoe was often around. It was awkward at the beginning, but with time we grew closer and became genuine friends. Midsummer, as I was getting better, Clara suddenly came back. She told me she made the biggest mistake of her life, that she was scared about the marriage, but she realized that she loved me and she is ready to spend her life with her. It messed me up again, but even if I was dreaming of this few months ago, I knew I couldn't get over her leaving me and coming back after realizing the grass isn't always greener, so I rejected her and blocked her. She didn't take it well. She insisted and even begged Zoe to send me a letter in which she implored me to get back together with her. It was starting to get messy, so I plucked up my courage, unblocked her, and went to see her. I listened to her and I told her that it was too late. She broke me, and we could never go back like nothing happened. Our relationship is gone and will never come back. It was painful, but I felt liberated because I finally had closure. In September, my sister left to study 1 year in another country, but I still continued to hang out with Zoe. She became kind of part of my support system. So it felt natural. We have similar interests and even have several common friends with our little tennis group, but we spent quite some time together, even in one-on-one. I didn't really think about it, but when my sis briefly came back for the holidays, she noticed it and told me it is a whole new dynamic. I reflected about this, and I have to admit that Zoe is an awesome woman. Sweet, caring, funny, and beautiful. We have a great chemistry, and without her affiliation with Clara, I would have probably already thought about pursuing her. And we finally came to last summer weekend. We were invited to a party. After a few drinks, we danced, and we made out several times. With the euphoria of the party, it felt good, but the morning after I felt like crap. It's the first time I got intimate with a girl since Clara, and it would be lying to say that I didn't enjoy that moment with Zoe. But on the other side, I feel like a jerk to go after the sister of my ex-fiance. Zoe and I talked yesterday. Obviously it was awkward. She admits that she enjoyed this moment and felt the attraction and our chemistry. But she feels guilt because she knows that Clara is probably still in love with me, and it would be a huge betrayal. So I'm torn. On the one hand, I really like Zoe and think that we should try to explore our chemistry and see where it heads us. But on the other side, I feel like a huge jerk for thinking like this. Going after the sister of an ex should be a no-go. How should I face this messy situation? Should I be reasonable, or should I say fuck it, let's try? TLDR, was engaged with Clara. Clara's sis, Zoe, became BFF with my little sister. All four spent quite some time together. Clara suddenly dumped me because she was unsure about loving me and marrying. Destroyed, I move with my sister. Zoe is still around and we become close friends. Clara changed her mind and tried to get back with me. I rejected her. Little sis moves abroad. Zoe and I still hang out and grow closer and closer. Last weekend at a party, we make out. Both of us feel conflicted about that.
OP, I'm gonna be honest here, I am proud of you that you were able to move on and feel the spark again with someone else. Now I just want you to go and look for that spark again, literally with anyone else besides your ex's family members. Tell yourself it was a great night and you do feel the connection, but it's a really, really bad idea, my dude. Don't even consider going down that path. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.